All right, so I quickly just wanted to get your 2 cents on Volkanovski, and then we'll get to Bam Bam Barberena and Munoz and Turner and everybody else. Your thoughts on Alexander Volkanovski in all his glory last night?
Unbelievable. I mean, I played Max. I picked Max because, and then I was even more confident all week how hyped up Max was, the behind the scenes stuff. I am the Heat, brother. And then really emotional. And the second fight was very close. I'm like, oh, this third fight he's going to put together. But Volkanovski just proved that he made just a little bit bigger of a jump. And we all can argue or debate if Max was off or not. I think DC and you guys really covered it well on the broadcast. I just think Volkanovski was that good. Max did look a little slower. He looked like the cut could have bothered me. He looked like he was stuck in mud at times, but Volkanovski's different, man. And that blew me away. I have no idea how this guy gets booed and how I know everyone loves Max Holloway, but everyone should be fans of this guy. He seems like a good dude. And
he's awesome.
And he's unbelievable. And you guys were discussing if he goes to the 55, and Kenny made a great point. I mean, the benefit for him going up to 55 is he'll get a title shot and or title-like, fight, right? But fighting a guy like Arman Tsarukyan or Mantus Gamrot or Jalin Turner, that's not a great matchup for him because he's short and he's a thick kid. And I think 155 he'll look jacked. But yeah, I think you give him Emmett, and then I think you give him Arnold Allen, and we'll see how 55 shakes out because there's a lot of rumors about Oliveira not wanting to fight in Abu Dhabi. And, I think that guy should be able to fight wherever he wants. He's proven it, and we'll see. But, Volkanovski, 10 out of 10 performance. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and I do think there's a lot that we need to see shake out at lightweight, and I think you'll see the promotion may just shake that out. But let me just ask you guys this very quickly. So in terms of the size thing, right, you may have seen Kamaru Usman at the UFC 278 press conference start to talk about light heavyweight. Of course, his good friend Israel Adesanya is the middleweight champion. There was a face-off between Jan Blachowicz and Kamaru Usman. So, Kenny's asking me about Tsarukyan and Volkanovski and 20 Gs. And I'm going to ask you guys, if I give you $5,000 to go to the window, Kamaru Usman versus Jan Blachowicz, Brian Petrie, 5K, who you backing? You backing the bigger man, Jan Blachowicz?
Usman. I'll go Usman for that X Factor Wrestling. I saw them do the stare down. They did like a jokey stare down in the back, face to face. Kamaru Usman didn't look, Jan's a big 205, but Kamaru Usman didn't look that small. I'm an Usman guy. He's about number one pound for pound. I can't go against that. 5 Gs. Jan Blachowicz, a little long in the tooth at this point, but and then he got taken down by Glover. I think Kamaru can take him down. But man, it's interesting when you start really shaking up these weight divisions. It's nuts.
Jan looked pretty lean, Kenny, Saturday night, but Ken Flo, Jan Blachowicz, Kamaru Usman, 5K, bigger man or no?
I mean, I don't want this to come across as disrespectful to Blachowicz, but I'm in the Usman camp as well, and I'm sure he does. Don't beat me up. Here's the thing: the other thing about Usman, he's the only guy that I would feel comfortable putting 20 Gs on to go up a weight class and fight for the belt and win it. Like Usman, that's the dude right there. And again, the fact that he can go up all the way up to 205 and be successful against high level guys. Says a lot, and I believe that Usman's the dude. You know who's huge? Leon fucking Edwards is huge.
Really?
UFC 278 press conference. Now, oftentimes I look to see how big these guys' hands are, right? Because I want to see how big their penises might be. No, I want to see how big their hands are because, like, Brock Lesnar's hands were big top to bottom, right?
Yeah.
But Francis Ngannou's hand would completely envelope Brock Lesnar's hand.
Yeah.
And there are some guys, Montel Jackson, who just has these huge mitts. Like Kamaru Usman's hands, take it for what it's worth, are much bigger than for Brian Petrie, as a handicapper. He's listening.
Mm-hmm.
Kamaru Usman's mitts are much bigger than Leon Edwards, but Leon Edwards looks like he's 6'3". I mean, Leon Edwards is a big guy,
Really?
He's long. Yeah. He looks big.
He doesn't seem big to me. That's interesting. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just small. I got big hands though. If you're wondering,
there you go.
Tell you about
you look bigger than Rogan out there, Anik. I gotta say, you look,
people are like, you're not 5'9". It's like, I am.
I love that Rogan in a tie set the internet ablaze.
Yeah.
Him on a tie, and I was like, he's doing stand up in a tie lately. So he just packed one suit. He's like, I'm not packing 10 suits. Let me just throw this on.
That's actually not accurate. His other suit in my dressing room. He did get new shoes though.
Okay.
Rogan's
I figured he was just like,
time in a couple years.
I'm doing stand up. I'm going to wear a suit, same suit off the rack. Doesn't look like a custom tailor kind of guy, but him in a tie set the internet ablaze. I don't think I've ever seen him in a tie.
He went straight from his stand up routine out to dinner, worked out in that suit, and then just came right to the arena.
That's about right. Sat in a 400
whatever the hell he
sauna.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. He's the man. But no, that was the first time that he had ever worn a necktie. Working with me, I worked with him for the first time in 2012. I think I've never seen him wear a tie.
That's crazy.
Got a thick neck.
No, I'm gonna mess with him later on.
Well,
Instagram
and it wasn't fully up, Kenny. It wasn't all the way up. You know, it was a little loose. You had to keep it a little casual.
I thought he looked great though. I do.
He looked great. I thought he looked like, man, I liked it. I liked it.
All right. You know what I really liked? Jalin Turner. I'll get back to Bam Bam Barberina of that, I can assure you. But dude, Jalin fucking Turner, 5 straight finishes, finally gets the bonus. 6'3". You may have heard us say on the broadcast he had a very bad weight cut for his previous fight, I believe, against Jamie Malaki. Not a bad weight cut at all. I mean, it's nuts, man. Like, as a 152-pound man myself right now, that this dude weighs 155, and then this time he's like skipping off the scale. You know, I've never felt worse about myself physically. Kenny, what did you make of Jalin Turner? He has a lot of skills. His fight IQ is exceedingly high, comes from a great team, submission skills, striking skills, size, poise. I think he's the total package. I think he's going to make his way to the top 5 potentially, if not higher.
Again, if he was, you know, anyone who's outside the top 15, if you were looking at it like, you know, like a UFC draft, he would be my number 1 pick as far as guys to potentially get in the top 5 and maybe win the belt in the future. He's young. He's got the physical skills. I love his mindset. He's a fighter, but also a martial artist. He continues to evolve. He knows how to adapt during fights. He's got a high level of intelligence as a fighter, makes the right decisions, aggressive without being stupid. I love it. I mean, the sky's the limit for the kid. And went out there and made it look easy and what was a beautiful setup and finish to that knockout. I mean, just gorgeous stuff for a guy who's tall and lanky. You know, you think, oh, he's kind of more the counter type guy like an Adesanya. He's got power to go forward and knock your ass out too. So good luck dealing with that guy, you know. No easy task. I think if he continues to develop his wrestling and grappling skills and, continue on the trajectory with his striking as well, that's tough for anybody.
Yeah, we'll see if long-term he can make the weight. I feel pretty confident that he can, especially given what we saw on Friday. And the punch that led to the submission came off a read. Jalin Turner seems like a Brian Petrie type of fighter.
Oh, definitely. My idiot brain, I saw him fight live in Atlanta against Rivola. He can just get grounded, lost a decision.
Oh, yeah.
So I wrote him off. And then now I'm finally back on the train because I opened my goddamn eyes. But the right hand was beautiful, big, powerful. Like Kenny said, usually these long guys are counters. He led the dance. It was exceptionally fast. And you're getting a Brad Riddell who's in camp with Volkanovski, who I'm sure they're head-to-head training partners with a similar size. Izzy, Kai Car-France is coming up with a fight soon. So you got a sharp Brad Riddell. And I love the way after they went to the ground, Jalin immediately went for that neck. Because when these guys with really long arms, some of the guys, you're just like, man, just learn some like really good basic chokes. And he wrapped that up, repositioned his hands, and it was just death. And Brad Riddell just had nothing to do. And I agree with Kenny. I mean, I want to see him go against some of these wrestlers. That's still my biggest question mark with them. But if he can get that weight cut right, I mean, he's enormous and confidence is building, and he's good everywhere.
Yeah, Kempflo, thematically, this was a pretty good night for offensive jiu-jitsu. You love to see it, you know?
I was loving it, man. I was loving it. And that's a good point. Like, geez, Turner, he may develop into a welterweight. You know, he's still pretty young. 6'3", dude. Oh,
man. Man, he's a specimen. And he has a lot of pet tarantulas.